The next day, I usually wake up in some strange place with a kid with an accent playing with my feet.
I'll tell you what, my friend doesn't get either. Not at all a respect. Are you joking? I bought poison for rats. Should I wrap it up? Asked a girl. Are you going to eat it here? Many comedians got their start on Johnny Carson's show. Some acts were so funny that they made the comics and the show who they were. I'm not sure. Move on to the next guy. I'm not sure. These are the funniest stand-up bits Johnny Carson has ever done. Rodney Dangerfield has Johnny busting up. Dangerfield has Johnny busting up. I always wake up in a strange place the next morning with a kid with an accent playing with my feet. Did that also happen to you? Yes. As soon as Dangerfield starts, he starts dropping one-liners that make the crowd roar. Yes. I took a laxative the other day and started working in a bank, which doesn't have any men for workers only. They can use the men's room if you work. I had to go so badly that I looked for work. He was making Carson laugh so hard that you couldn't hear him. A real sign of funny. Eddie Murphy's very first showing on Eddie Murphy's first showing. Thanks. Do not talk. Murphy starts with a bid on ads for men's underwear that make fun of the way men talk about it. I was just standing outside in front of going. The thing that made him stand out was that he used motions instead of words to turn a simple subject into a full character routine. Louis Anderson's amazing return to Louis Anderson's first show. I can't stay for long. Please bear with me while I eat something. Anderson starts off by roasting himself perfectly. He then keeps making jokes about food and weight that are funny but don't seem mean. Being fat in California and trying to fit in with the way of life there. Recently went to the beach. Every time I laid down, I would get pushed back into the water. He makes himself the target while sounding truly confused by his own hunger, which makes the jokes work. Rodney Dangerfield almost makes Carson fall off of his chair. But I went to a place the other night. Someone behind the bar gave me a double. He showed me a man who looked like me. This one is just speed. Rodney doesn't even stop, just dropping one-liners so quickly that Carson can't catch his breath between laughs. Do you remember that? Yes, of course. Of course you do. Now let me go. Sorry. I'm not sure. Move on to the next guy. I'm not sure. In his famous drive-in movie joke, he says that he had to do push-ups in the back car to keep up. Drew Carey. If you want to see Drew Carey, you should watch his first showing. Yes, I know how I look. Thanks. I guess Carey plays up his big guy image with lines that build up to a vivid scene of being squished between two big people. Big Daddy needs to work out and lose some weight. Please. Anyway, I'm glad I'm the only one who still looks like his high school picture. The specifics of the case are what make everyone in the room laugh out loud. Carson said behind closed doors, I know this guy is going to be big. Joey. Tony Smothers leaves as Johnny. Smothers leaves as Johnny. Smothers walks on dressed as Carson and tries so hard to pull off the look that it's easy to spot. It was really cold. He ends it with a surprise joke by taking a yo-yo out of his sock and performing tricks like it's nothing out of the ordinary. Elvis impression by Andy Kaufman. Elvis impression by Andy Kaufman. I'd like to sound like Elvis Presley. Could I have my things? Kaufman did a great job of turning himself into Elvis. The hair, the voice, the clothes, everything. This clip became famous and was played over and over because of how well the impression was done. For many years, Jim Carrey, the biggest star in the country, made his first appearance on TV. I believe it was today, 30 years ago. It was a dog that bit me. I was yelling in the street as I tried to get the mean dog off my leg. Carrey mixes music and images, going quickly from a jailhouse rock moment to quick changes in her face and body. It's like he goes from acting like Nicholson to Eastwood to Dean without restarting. How well he moves is what makes you wonder, how is he doing that? I feel like I've spent my whole life looking at myself in the mirror. I have, but only looked at myself. I've been looking at Leonette Brev. Carson is so happy to see Carr because his energy is contagious. The act shows the range that most comics work on for years. Carrey treats his first album like a collection of his best songs. Johnny gives him more time because the stuff keeps getting better. The portion showed that Jim was ready to become famous right away on Jay Leno's first show. The first time Jay Leno did stand-up comedy. I was born and raised in the United States. Are there any Americans here tonight? It's such a small world. Not funny. Not matter where you come from. Leno's first show makes fun of the strange ways news stories are written and growing up with parents who were affected by the Great Depression. Just now, we were in a green room watching the news. I was kicked out of newsmen because they use the same phrase all the time. Late last night, someone was killed for no reason in Midtown Manhattan. Instead of what is senseless, smart death. Someone beat up a man and stole 12 cents from him on the West Side. A killing for no reason. On the other hand, a $1,000 killing on the East Side. Really smart. The crowd isn't very interested at first, but by the end, they're really into him, and he gets a spot at Carson's desk. Ellen DeGeneres is being asked to come back. Ellen DeGeneres is asked to come back. Do you feel good? Yes, me too. It feels great. These days I've been staying in shape. You should do it. My age is rising. I'm 27 years old. You don't look 27, people tell you. That's lucky for me. It runs in my family. You look like you're about 23. My grandma is 97 years old. She seems to be 93 years old. Ellen starts off very nervous and makes good observations about conversations. At one point, she imagines having a direct talk with God. That's fine. I do have a family history of being fit, though. My grandma began walking 5 miles every day when she was 60 years old. We have no idea where she is, and she's 97 years old today. Carson pulls her out of the room and tells her she can come back whenever she wants. This is a very rare occurrence for stand-up shows. Steve Martin and the Great Fly Daney at Steve Martin's performance. Martin does a great job as the magician. Straight while doing something crazy, making impossible things come out of his fly over and over again. As he keeps his perfect magician's poise, the gravity turns into the joke. The bit turns into prop magic chaos with several shows and a well-planned visual payoff. Carson can hardly hold it together as the ridiculousness grows. Martin's love for the character never changes, even as the joke gets sillier. A lot of people enjoy seeing someone professionally carry out a stupid idea. Martin got a lot of requests for the Fly-Iny part. In the end, Johnny said it was one of the best dumb Flip Wilson's baby jokes. Jokes he had ever seen. Flip Wilson is the famous baby joke. He stopped and stared like that as he got closer to the part where the woman was with the baby. Also, the woman is looking at him. There's a sneaky look of him in her eye. What are you looking at? She asks him. This person says, I'm looking at that ugly baby. Wilson builds it up like a story about a proud parent, and then he drops the widely cruel, ugly baby punchline that cracks the whole room up. Carson says that the line is one of the funniest things he's ever heard because it's so powerful. Wilson's delivery is perfect. He builds up the audience's hopes and then dashes them. Johnny's response shows that he is truly shocked and didn't see it coming. People talked about the joke on The Tonight Show for years after it happened. Wilson's timing makes the joke really hit home. It's almost impossible for Carson to stop the show to praise the joke. The audience's response is powerful because the setup looks so harmless. That the twist is based on a true story makes Wilson's writing even more shocking. Later, Johnny is said to have told his friends that the joke was a great example of how to trick someone. The video is played again. Always as an example of how to build a great stand-up. Wilson's face after saying the line shows that he is sure he did a great job. Carson laughs so naturally that it becomes part of the joke. Wilson was one of the best comics of his time, and this moment showed why. Johnny cheered him on, which was something he didn't do very often during shows. The ugly baby joke is one of the best-written punchlines in comic history. It caught my eye that the woman sitting there had her baby with her. Poor baby. Looks like a bad baby. Wilson's skill at making mean things funny.